Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another update on MarkTwainZephyr.com. Also, our Facebook and Twitter pages at Mark Twain Zephyr. I'm Robert Tabor, your Director of Passenger Development with the Wisconsin Great Northern Railroad. And it is Tuesday, the 2nd day of March, 2021. Well, we're doing our normal Sunday video updates today on Tuesday. As, we had a little blizzard out here for a little bit on Sunday. And that did make for some good videos, so we thought we would do it today. And today we're going to learn all about painting and priming. For that, we send it to our off-shop location. And for that, Operations Manager Nick Turinetti.
All right, guys, welcome obviously again to our off-shop location. And I'm going to try something a little bit different today because I'm going to try and make talking about paint and painting interesting.
Oh, all right.
So we've talked a little bit before the last time I think you were out here about, we put...
the bead blaster.
The bead blaster's back over there. And Robert, you obviously cleaned a couple parts. And,
I did. People are very proud of me.
I'm very proud of you. So, but once a part comes out of the bead blaster, obviously we're looking at something kind of like.
So these are all done out of the bead.
Yep,
All these parts we're looking at.
Yep.
Okay.
These are actually parts of the linkages for a brake piston. We got a couple back over there.
All right.
I've put these through the bead blaster, so they are as clean as I can get them of road grime and rust and things like that.
All right.
And in general, my procedure after I've taken apart, parts out of the bead blasters, I get everything together. So each half truck, each piston is kept together on one pallet. And what we then do is we have to go through cleaning off the residue of the bead blaster. Some of these parts have a lot of road grime and rust on them. It takes a while to get them clean, and as a result, you kind of get some leftover powdery residue from the bead blaster.
Okay.
So generally, what I wind up doing then is when I'm ready to paint, I'll take all the stuff over to one of these two cardboard flat boxes.
Yeah.
And you'll give them a wipe down. With some paint thinner to try and clean off all the remaining dust. Okay. And then once you do that, you prime it. And, for those of you who don't know much about painting and priming or doing anything,
that would be me.
Like this,
Yeah.
The whole point of primer is to give a paint a surface to adhere to. The way that primer is formulated, it basically sets up this kind of interlocking surface that paint is much more likely to adhere to for a long period of time than if you were just to paint bare metal.
So if you just put straight paint on some of these parts, it might just run off, or
I mean, it would stick for a while, but it also
not very good quality.
It wouldn't grip as well as it would if we primed it first. So,
all right.
So the first step is taking bare metal, priming it, and then if you can look over here, we have a few parts. These are half painted. They basically gotten one half side of them has been done already with our silver paint, which is the Burlington Zephyr. Was a stainless steel train. All of them were stainless steel, but their trucks and certain other components were still built of regular steel, or in some cases cast iron, or in some cases aluminum. And for a unifying appearance, the Burlington was all about a very silver paint on underbody equipment, things like that, to try and tie the whole appearance together. So what we're doing over here is applying, a silver coat on top of the primer that we've already applied. And like I said, these are half done, so we're only going to do one half of them.
All right.
And what we're actually using is good old-fashioned Rust-Oleum.
All right.
And
that's the primer, so that's what we're going to use right now.
Yep.
Are we going to get to see some of this in action here?
I've done a lot of painting as of late.
Have you?
Yeah. And, people would kill to be part of the restoration of the Burlington Zephyr.
They would be.
For the Mark Twain Zephyr. So I think maybe we're going to have you do a little bit of painting.
All right. Wow. Since people are so excited, I'm going to put the communications guy. You trust me now with this, with whatever this is.
Well, the nice part about primer is that it's getting something on top of it, so we don't have to worry too much if there's some issues. So.
Okay. All right. So this is the stuff you'd buy at the hardware store?
Yeah, it's
nothing special for
nothing
railroads or anything like that?
Nothing terribly special, and part of the reason is that, all of these parts that we're painting, don't spray your face. That's probably not good.
Oh.
Yeah. Part of the reason that we're just using a basic paint like this is that all of the parts that we're dealing with are going to be on the inside of the truck.
Okay.
Eventually, you know, the main part of the truck after they've been sandblasted are going to get a layer of paint as well.
Okay.
So this just basically guarantees that stuff that's going to be harder to reach later has a coat of paint on it to begin with. So.
All right. So what are these parts here?
So these parts here are actually, are part of the brake linkage.
Okay.
So what you're going to want to do is kind of hold it about 12 to 16 inches away and then just swipe back and forth as you go over the parts.
And then you're trying to give it these holes certain parts.
Yep, so just kind of swipe back and forth as you go. Make sure we get nice even coverage. And you have the benefit that at this point I already did the other side, so we should have only just the one side to cover on these.
So when people come and ride, they'll be like, "Oh, those are the ones that the communications guy did. They're not as good."
Well, I mean, if they're willing to crawl underneath the train to look at them,
No one will see these.
yeah,
Okay.
maybe, but yeah. Yep. There we go. Just make sure you don't spray paint your feet. That's one of the things that I've.
Sounds like you know from experience.
Yeah, I've had to clean my boots once or twice afterwards. So.
Pretty good.
Yeah, you got one more head to do right there.
Kind of blends in with the.
Yeah. Who says you need camo?
Is this gray or?
This is just a gray primer. Yep.
Okay.
And I'll hand that back to you.
Okay.
Very good.
Whew. All right. Look at that. So now can we see the paint part before we go?
Yep. So this is just a high performance enamel.
Okay. This is different than the primer.
Yes, this is
actual paint.
Actual paint. So.
Okay. It's not Burlington silver.
It's close enough to Burlington silver that we're not going to worry about.
Oh, all right.
One of the things that if you spend some time studying how paint has evolved over the years, and
yes,
I can't admit to doing a whole lot of that, but I've done a little bit, is that especially back in the 20s and 30s, what was called a paint color was often just like a blanket term for what it was used for. Like there's no such thing as just one shade of barn red. If it was red and on a barn, it was barn red.
Barn red.
So
we could paint the 261 in silver. Ooh. I don't think Steve would like that.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Anyway, let's see.
So
wait, how long does that have to dry before it can? You can for the primer to dry before you can put the paint on.
I usually let them dry overnight.
Oh, that long?
So
okay.
So if I paint one side in the morning, by the time I'm ready to leave in the evening, I can flip them over, paint the other side, and then I'll usually wait until the next day to move them over and do.
Okay. So about a day then. Okay. So all these you would have done yesterday then.
Yep. So these have already been done. They were primed last week.
Okay.
So we're ready to do the final side of them now.
All right.
So essentially the same routine that you did with the primer. You're going to stand about 12 to 16 inches away and just aim for coverage.
Okay.
This is kind of neat too. You can kind of see here, the gray is not as dramatic like if we had been painting it black.
Yeah.
But it does give it a pretty nice shine, and it seems to hold up pretty well once it's dried. Mm-hmm. And like I said, these are all parts that are essentially going to be out of sight, out of mind.
Anyway, okay.
Person. Lots of railroads use very high quality paint, like DuPont or the other one that's commonly used is Imron. And Imron can run several $100s per gallon.
Per gallon?
Yes.
No kidding.
So,
wow.
For a part that's going to be out of sight,
yeah,
that's essentially probably going to be painted again, and that's going to be subject to a lot of wear.
Yeah.
We figured that just kind of a paint that we can apply quickly, that if we have to go back and do again, it's not going to require us to do anything more than find the skinniest guy and send them underneath with a shit can is probably.
Well, that's not going to be one of us, Nick.
I'm hoping to lose a little bit there at some point.
Me too. Well, anyway.
It can be a contest to see who's skinny enough to get under there.
All right. Well, there's no one else I'd rather watch paint dry than with you, Nick. You make it so much fun, but I appreciate it, and we'll catch up with you probably in a couple weeks and see what else you have here at our off-shop locations. Thanks so much.
No problem. We'll catch you later.
All right, bye. Thanks so much for joining us for another update on the Mark Twain Zephyr at the Wisconsin Great Northern Railroad. Before you go, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's really easy. Depending on what browser you have, just click on the red subscribe button on the lower right-hand side below the video screen, or perhaps it might be in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. This way, you won't miss any of our future updates. For restoration updates throughout the week, head over to marktwainzephyr.com and click on the Restoration Updates link. We usually add a few photos during the week. Our next video update will be next Sunday afternoon. And remember, you can stay in touch with us throughout the week 24/7 on social media. We mainly use Facebook at Mark Twain Zephyr. We also occasionally use Twitter at Mark Twain Zephyr as well. Once again, thanks for following us and liking us and supporting the Mark Twain Zephyr restoration effort at the Wisconsin Great Northern Railroad. We'll see you back next Sunday at this time.
Fly away.